Hi, guys. We're back at it again. Welcome back to those of you who were here this morning for the girls. We have the boys tonight. And for those of you who weren't here, I hope you caught the replay. And welcome. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Chef is running a little bit late, so he'll join us in a little while. But till then, we have with us tonight Carter.
Yo,
What's up?
what's up?
And we have Jack.
Yo, yo.
Some of you may know Jack as Jelly Jack because he is from the Jelly Rascals. He does a lot of work for them. Most of his GMs are from them. He is currently. Oh, thank you, Akindere. Hey. Um, uh, where are you now, Jack? You don't have to do this fully. You could just tell us, like, roughly. Don't
in
dogs.
In Asia
Huh?
right now.
Indo.
Asia.
Yeah. How are you liking it there?
Yeah, it's good. It's the weather is a bit of a shock to adjust to compared to what I'm used to in Ireland.
Yeah, it's a little bit different from Ireland, eh?
Yeah, a little bit for sure. Yeah, it's basically like in Ireland it's like 10 degrees. Here it's like 30, 35 degrees. So it's a bit of a shock to get used to. I'm used to it now and everything's going well.
Nice. And Carter, how are you doing? How's everything going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good,
Thank you
good,
so
good.
much for joining me, you guys. Okay, so we're going to get right into it and we're going to talk about like your backgrounds. Like, how did you get into Web3? How did you get into content creation? How did you get where you are? We want to know a little bit about like the Jack and Carter lore. Jack.
So basically, I guess back at the start of my story, I was kind of just chilling, working, just finishing college, university. I was doing my internship, and one day I was just scrolling on TikTok, and I saw some guy making a lot of money on NFTs, and I was like, this could be interesting. NFTs kind of seem cool, so I got in, instantly got rugged. I'm into the project called Jelly Babies. Got instantly rugged. But luckily, it was probably the best rug that I've been a part of. Obviously, Carlos came in and derugged the project back in March 2022. And I was still a little bit hesitant. I was like, oh, I don't know if this is the same rugger, but I was like, I'll just take a chance. I'll come back and I'll kind of speak, and have a look. And then kind of one thing led to another, I guess. I kind of had an interest in saying, maybe there could be a potential career here in Web3. It kind of seems interesting. It's, different to your kind of 9 to 5 office job, which is something that I was kind of doing my internship in university anyway, but as I was doing it, I was like, oh, I don't know if kind of this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life. Um, so I said I'd kind of take a stab in the dark and kind of started speaking to Carlos and the team and kind of put myself forward as an alpha caller, which I completely lied about at the time. I was like, oh, I've got experience in this and this and this. But I mean, it was just completely not true. I just wanted to try and make sure that I could get my first job. And luckily it worked out. And then one thing led to another, and started kind of getting involved in some different projects. And now my kind of base is Jelly and Gamble specifically, and kind of doing more of a general slash community manager role there, and kind of handling partnerships and stuff as well. So it's kind of been an evolution of starting, getting rugged, and then that turning into a job, and then kind of here we are now.
Nice. One second, guys. Thank you so much, Edmar. Edmar just gave us a donation, a super chat donation. Bum, 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 bum. I don't have a soundboard, sorry, so I have to do it with my mouth. Anyways, thank you for that. Carter, tell us about how you got to be Carter
Yeah.
of CT.
Man. I started. So I was watching my older brother trade NFTs, Solana NFTs, mostly, and I was always with him. We're like best friends. And I always watched him trade. And one day, um, when I was like 12 in sixth grade, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna send you $100 or give you $100, and can you give me like one soul, or can you buy me one soul?" And with that one soul, I bought my first NFT, and that started the journey.
Amazing. So now, I have a question. So we had Wombat on the channel. Are is it you or Wombat that's our like youngest member in the community?
It's me. I believe he's 15,
Oh
15,
wow.
16. I'm 14 right now.
Yeah. But so mature. But awesome. And you're also actually, this is a good point. We are all in Jelly Rascals.
We are. We are.
Yeah, we're all like I think fairly early adopters too. I mean, I wasn't in from Jelly Babies, but I bought a Jelly Baby to burn to a Jelly Rascal, right? So I was in fairly early. Anyways, Carter's gonna make it a. So Carter, tell us like tell us about the day that you were like, okay, this is for me, and like, um, kind of when you identified that you were an actual content creator, or that's what you wanted to do.
It was really just from day one. I've always wanted to be a content creator. I've always watched, people stream, and ever since I was little, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. Um, and really, Web3 opened up a lot of doors for me. I feel like I've s- I um saw a lot of people that would support you no matter who you are, how old you are, where you're from, stuff like that. And I feel like that really motivated me to start making content. So I started streaming on my 13th birthday. On that day, did gaming, and I hit 100 followers in like less than a month. Got affiliate in less than 3 weeks on Twitch, um, and now I'm on Kick and streaming there as well. I also make some short YouTube videos on projects that I believe in, and I also have a podcast called The Bear Market Builders that I bring on projects and founders that are building through this bear market.
Wow, that's a lot. So between the both of you, you've both been on Kick. Have you done Twitch, Jack?
No, no, just kick.
Just
Kick is good.
Kick. Twitter. You're both on YouTube, and Carter has a podcast. And there's so many different outlets for us to consider when creating content, which is so like it's so cool because before, like, I would say 6 years ago, it was just like what, Instagram and Twitter, and
Facebook.
there it was very limited in what you could create in a lot of ways. Facebook, yeah, I forgot about Facebook.
Look, yeah.
YouTube, yeah. But there's so many more outlets now, and there's so many more options, which is so great. So, in terms of considering yourself as a content creator, Jack, which I know we've discussed, you kind of don't. When was the day that you're like, oh yeah, this is what I do now?
I guess in a sense, I kind of maybe more used to be a content creator than I am now. Obviously, as I kind of mentioned, when I first started, I started doing alpha calling at Jelly and a couple of the servers. So I guess you could say that's content. I have to go and research projects and kind of create a content piece to kind of give my opinion and kind of feedback on different projects and potential investments. So I guess that was probably kind of the first thing that I did in terms of content creation. And it was really enjoyable too. The problem is it takes a lot of time if you really want to, make sure you're researching things well. So I think I did that from, I don't know, I started in March 2022, and I probably stopped at maybe at the start of this year, so maybe like 8 months ago. So I guess I did it for a good maybe 8 months. It was super fun. Obviously, I started as an alpha caller for Jelly, and then worked my way up to lead alpha for a few different projects around Solana specifically. So that was fun. I got a lot of experience initially on how to manage teams. Obviously, I was managing quite a few alpha teams. It kind of built up my, I guess, experience in that sense, in like managing people and kind of managing expectations. So that's kind of, I guess, how I started content creating, and then I guess, yeah, maybe at the start of this year again is kind of when I started streaming on Kick for a little bit with Gamble Casino. I had a lot of fun on that. I know Veep, if you were always tuning into the streams, I appreciate it. It would be you'd come in and you'd be like, okay, I've just got 2 minutes, but hello, Jack, and then you were too busy and you had to go sort out your other stuff. But yeah, I streamed for a little bit for probably a few months. It was a lot of fun, kind of something I'd never done before. It was just the kind of thing of Gambles is up, we need some streamers, and I said, I'll give it a go. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed it, and I guess those are kind of the two main content creation besides the very important GM posts that I do every day. That was kind of how it started.
Yeah. No, I love your GM posts, and I loved you on Kick actually. Like even when, yeah, like you said, like I could only come for like 2 minutes. I'd be like, "Hi, Jack," and then I'd bounce. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun with you, Carlos, and Tom when Tom was doing them. So that was super enjoyable. Do you think you'll ever consider doing Kick again, or you're just gonna do duos with Carlos from now on?
Yeah, I don't really think so. I'll probably just do when Carlos streams. Obviously, you see, I jump into like zone two streams just sitting next to him. It's just creating the time for it. If you kind of want to push your stream, you really have to have like a schedule where you do stream at the same time every day. And for me, it's not really manageable. So it's just something that I have to put to the side. Maybe one day, but for the very foreseeable future, it's definitely a no.
Got you. Yeah, no. Consistency is definitely it's key, especially when you're starting up, like bef- when you're building a following. Like I've really tried to keep my space consistent. So people are like, why are you up at 3 a.m. doing a space that like doesn't make you any money? And it's like, well, the only way to build that following to get to something is to be consistent. So no matter where I am in the world, I always do it at 7 a.m. Eastern because people can find me. You know, if I'm just randomly doing it and I have, I'm about to hit 3,000 followers, but I'm sub 5,000, so I have less, reach, and I've never paid Elon the money up to this point. Like, you just have to be, the key is consistency at that point, right? So yeah, no, I totally get that. Okay, wait a second, hold on. I'm just gonna catch up on some of these comments. I was never a Twitch guy. I like Kick better. Was working with streamers, helping them with graphics, then led to Clubhouse. Yeah, I started on Clubhouse, and I wasn't creating any content on Clubhouse. I started as a listener on Clubhouse and moved over to Twitter Spaces, and really started to get into Web3 big time then. But Carter, you've done Twitch and Kick. Which one? Which one do you like better?
I started dual streaming just recently, just to pull in both audiences that I've built. Like they're still kind of small, but you always build. But to be honest, I've liked Kick a lot more. It feels like there's a lot tighter community, and there's a lot more streamers that I don't know are tiny and want to collab and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Cool. Just so in terms of your journey so far, what have you found like the most challenging about like creating content like so far, Carter?
Um, Man, it's getting content out in a timely manner. I'm very I want everything to be perfect because I hold myself to very high standards. But when you're doing content, you can't really hold yourself to the perfect standard because you'll never get anything out. And I'm still working on that. Um, and when something is, you know, uh, what am I thinking of? When something is hot right now and trending, you want to get it out in like a day or two, so it's still trending and you get some momentum.
Yeah, of course, because this space moves so fast. Hold on one second. Hey, hi, chef.
What's up? What's going
What's
on,
up,
y'all?
chef?
Hey.
How's
How
it
are
going?
you?
Good, good,
Good.
good. Sorry, I'm a little late.
No problem. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that you had several things going on, but we were just starting to talk about challenges as a content creator, but I'm going to circle back and go to you in terms of, can you share with us a little bit of your background and how you got into content and in particular content in Web3?
Yeah. So I am a big like online gamer. I work in IT, so I'm kind of a nerd, and so I used to stream gaming, my online gaming for a while in Web 2, and I got like super fallen down the rabbit hole of NFTs when I first checked it out, and so I kind of just kind of floated around communities for a while, and the as far as like content creation of Web3, it was really like after I started doing spaces on Twitter. So I started doing a lot of Twitter spaces. Me and my buddy Jet, who founded this project called Nekozuma, we were trying to figure out how to like get that project off the ground, because it was kind of like a bunch of stuff happened on Mint Day and it was like dead in the water, and so we had to figure out a way to like get people interested in it. So we started doing spaces every day, like long spaces, like 14-hour spaces each day, which was a lot of fun. I'd never do it again, but it was.
Burnout rate on that is killer, I would think.
I don't know how we did it. Like I was literally like falling asleep at my day job and like in spaces. Like I almost got fired for being in spaces at my day job. We were just doing it all day, every day. But it helped. Like it took the project from like a 0.1 soul floor price to like at one point it was at like a 10 soul floor price. So
Amazing.
yeah, I brought it off the ground pretty good. And then I hooked up with Bell Studios. So I started doing marketing with Bell Studios, and I got really tight with my buddy Jakey, who's one of the founders of Bell Studios. And he is like, at least what I consider like one of the top content creators in Web3, especially when it comes to like video content. And so he got me into making videos, and we would like stream games together, and that kind of brought me back to when I used to do Web2 gaming. So then I started getting into making more videos, and that's kind of where I'm at now, is just like getting into all different types of Web3 type videos, and really enjoying that part.
Nice. Cool. And of course, I co-hosted with you a few times, which was so
Yes.
fun. So fun.
Morning Bell, classic.
Yeah, and Morning Bell. And shout out to Bell Studios, our first white label partner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you can go to Bell Studios. They have a white label app, and you get it's not the same amount of views as our app, but you can get, I think it's a half of what you get on our app. But yeah, you can watch replays of Bell Studios content on there, or whatever's loaded at the time. I believe it's all Bell Studios content though, and you can earn views there too. So shout out to them for being innovators and early adopters. I think it will pay off. Yeah, it's 0.25 views per minute, in case anybody wants to check out Bell Studios. So the other thing that we were talking about is it's all Jakey. It's all Jakey. All right, it's all Soul Jakey. So if you want a Soul Jakey marathon, go hit up the Bell Studios app.
I'll have to talk to Ryder, because I got a pretty good video that I just put out. He'll have to put it up there.
Yeah, let's get Ryder on that immediately. Oh yeah, and let me do this. Sorry. People are throwing a lot of things in the chat right now, but there's the Bell Studios link if you want it. Anyways, so the next thing we talked about before you got here, Chef, just to catch you up with everybody, is we were talking about what was the moment that you were like, oh, this is what I do now. Like this is how I identify. Like as I identify as a content creator. Like what was that moment that kind of brought you?
I think it was probably right around the time of joining Bell Studios. I think that was a big catalyst. I think Utes was also a big catalyst for me as well. Like when I got Ute List, I was like, I think I had like 500 followers on Twitter. Like I wasn't really known in the community. I kind of just stayed around the background. And so getting ingrained in that community where there's just like the amount of like top-notch content creators in the Utes community is just bar none. So connecting with those people and like throwing ideas off of each other and collaborating was a big catalyst for me to get interested in more creating content. And then joining Bell. I think Bell Studios are like main mission is definitely content creation. That's the main thing that we're focused on right now. We really think that there's a huge wide gap in Web3 right now for people that want to create content, and you can really solidify yourself as like a mainstay in the ecosystem if you're putting out quality content now, for the time when we get some more new blood into the system. You can become kind of a household name by the time that happens. And there's not a lot of content being created in Web3 either, so it's kind of the perfect time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. One thing that I say almost every stream is, I was part of the dot-com boom and crash, which was pretty quick. And the guys who stuck around through the crash are pretty much all on the S&P 500 now. So like, as long as
Yeah.
you can hang out and persevere through this bear market, I can't see how you could fail, really, honestly. But yeah, I had a similar thing, I guess. I mean, I still kind of don't feel like I'm a content creator. I feel like I'm just some chick on the internet talking like to into the ether. But I think one good confirmation for me was when Scriber like was asked me to join them, and so I have a Solana side up as a Scriber is under the Scriber banner now, which it's been under the Scriber banner. Tomorrow will be my 40th episode with Scriber, so there you
Nice.
go. Yeah, so it's been a little while now. All right, so I think we're up to scratch now. And the next thing, Carter, you were going to tell me about what you think the challenges you faced in content creation.
I already said, I believe mine. I think it was next. But I'll repeat. The hardest one was getting content out in a timely
Oh,
manner.
that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
If you want me to keep going, I can.
Yeah. No, well, I guess the discussion I remember now. The discussion was the space moves so fast. Ordinarily, it's a little slow right now, but ordinarily it moves so fast that if you don't get that thing out, that post out like within an hour of something breaking, like it's old news by the
Yeah.
afternoon. When we first started, it got a little bit slower, so you could wait a day maybe, but like
Yeah.
still, if you hear about something on the Monday and you wait till the Friday, like people are over it. It's probably a dead, I mean, Friend Tech was the big news,
Oh, yeah.
last week? Is it even alive
Yeah, I
anymore?
don't even
Does it
know.
even exist anymore?
I withdrawed all my ETH. But even getting like content out in a timely manner it's not just like a Web3 thing either. It's like a Web2 thing
Exactly.
as well. So
Exactly.
I'll
It's
say
just,
that's
I find that it's even faster in Web3.
oh yeah, Web3
For
moves
sure.
a lot faster.
Yeah, yeah. Jack, what are the challenges you face?
I guess the main thing that I kind of would have faced on my journey is kind of building that consistent following of people, whether it be on Twitter. I guess mainly would be my kind of reference, but it's kind of that growth to the kind of 5,000 follower range is super tough. You kind of have to be really consistent in posting kind of content that kind of hits home with everybody and they have a reason to follow you, because I feel like once you push past that kind of 5,000 mark, it gets a little bit easier in terms of recognition and kind of consistency, in terms of like engagement and people pushing your tweets and content. So I guess the kind of main hurdle that I would have faced early on, which is kind of consistently getting those followers coming in. I guess, yeah, up to like 500 followers, and you're trying to get to 1,000, and the next goal is 2,000, and you're just constantly trying to improve from there. But yeah, I guess it gets a lot easier once you kind of get a little bit more followers in terms of like 7,000, 8,000 kind of plus, because people are kind of there with you for the journey. So they're already with you for quite a long time, maybe like 12 months or more. So you kind of get that repeat engagement once you're kind of posting quality posts and kind of things that people can resonate with and kind of agree with, which for me is predominantly GM codes now. It's the only thing I do these days that's useful to the community. Um, yeah, that's kind of, I guess, my main hurdle was kind of getting that consistency in terms of followers and engagement.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, there was a period in there when they were doing a whole bunch of bot cleanup, and it was like I literally was in the 2100 to the 2200. I would get up to like 2195, and then I'd go back down to like 20 21 22, and then I was like between 2167 and 2175 for like literally 3 weeks. It was crazy. It was just like every time I got one, I lost five. It was funny. So yeah, that is a huge challenge. I mean, I don't see as much cleanup happening at the moment, but like luckily the last few weeks have been pretty fast for me, finally. But yeah, no. And I mean, I'm not super invested in it, and I don't really play the game like a lot of people do. I only post when I feel like it. I know that, the more you post, the better it is for your reach, as well as paying for the blue dot helps. And, I know all the tricks of the trade. I just don't really do it. I've built my nearly 3,000 just however. Um, Chef, what do you think the biggest challenge you've faced in terms of content creation has been to this day?
Um, I mean, for me, it's time. Uh, that's always the toughest for me because I got like my day job that I work and other obligations that I have to adhere to, and so like I really have to focus on creating like enough time because when I make content, like I really have specific ideas in mind that I want, and I don't like putting out a piece of content unless it meets like those specific ideas that I have, and so that usually takes like a good amount of time. Like I'm really weird. Like I like throwing like little weird clips into my videos of just like random things that pop into my head. Um, like that old vine of the dude that gets the life sentence and he's like, bruh. Like I love that like 1 second clip, and so I have to like put that into a video, which takes an extra 20-30 minutes to like splice it up the right way. I'm not a great video editor, so it takes me a lot longer to like edit videos than other people might take. Like I'm sure other people could like whip up a really great video in 30 minutes. Me, it takes like at least a few hours to do. So yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge for me.
Yeah, editing just takes time. It takes a lot longer than you ever think it's going to take, for sure. Okay, so Carlos, who always has great questions for us, he says, "How do you guys make your content stand out amongst all the other bunch of content? Do you make strategies or plans before putting out your content?" So, Chef, you kind of just answered that question already. And I will say on behalf of Chef as well, like when we did the morning bell, he always came with like really thoughtful topics of conversation and really uh, thoroughly fleshed out, like, you know, if the topic fell dead, ways to keep it alive, or a pivot topic. So I do know that about Chef. Um, Carter, how do you make your content stand out?
I'm still working on that, to be honest, but I would say just have your own style of content. Add your own things. Don't make it boring like everyone else's videos. Also, thumbnails. I've learned that thumbnails are a big part. Um, bright colors and just things that make it pop to people and make people want to click on your video.
Bright colors. Okay.
I use
Somebody.
bright colors a lot. To make
Hey,
it like pop.
hey, Jazz. If you're in the chat, can you put like 29 to 30 area? We need to clip that bright colors because that's exactly against what our founder thinks. um, Anyways, Jack, how do you make your content stand out?
I guess it's kind of similar answer, I guess, in a way to Carly. You kind of have to put your own twist on things, you know, put your own kind of spin on things and kind of stay consistent with that extra little spin that you put on things. Um, I guess the other part of the question, do you like make strategies or plans before putting out your content? And I guess this is something I used to do a lot in the past, just speaking, I guess, in terms of tweets and stuff like that. I used to literally like schedule, like, at the start of the week, I'd literally schedule like maybe, or put in my drafts, like maybe 15, 20 tweets, and then just keep doing that every single day, just adding to it, just so that when I wake up, I don't have to think, oh, what am I going to tweet today? I already have, 3 to 5 scheduled tweets that I know I'm going to put out. So I guess I kind of found that useful for me. I wasn't really stuck, thinking on a day, what's a good thing to post now? What's a good thing to post now? I kind of had it ready ahead of time. So I found that like super useful for me anyway, personally. I could kind of, to be honest, I'd literally just, it's more like shower thoughts. I'd be in the shower and I'm just thinking different tweet ideas, kind of what to put out. I don't really do that anymore, to be honest. I'm just more kind of involved in the community in Jelly now, and I don't really. This was back in my engagement farming days, and I was trying to push up and push up. So now it's more like a relaxed feel, just a GM post here and there, just maybe speaking about something that we have going on with Jelly or gambles. But I guess in the past it was in terms of strategies, scheduling a lot of tweets and putting a lot of thought into it, and as Carter said, just kind of putting your own twist on things and making sure you're not just kind of blending in with the crowd,
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to add to that, and I think you're all really good at this about being like yourselves and genuine. Like I almost every time I see Jack, I'm like, I somehow get to throw in, you get what you get, and you don't get upset, because that's like something that he always used to say in kick streams, and I loved it, and it like resonated with me. But like that's Jack, like that's something that's like a typical Irish saying to me. So it was perfect. And I think, Carter, you're always yourself, and that always comes across in anything that you're doing, and of course the same for you, Chef. Like, so I think that that's really important to make you stand out, is like to be yourself, because honestly, when I first started, I felt like I had to be nice to everyone, and it wasn't really me completely. Of course, I'm a nice person. You all know me. But I mean, I also have a trolley side. And I think that I needed to celebrate the whole of me and be the whole of me to really like, I don't think that people didn't resonate with me when I was nicer or whatever, because it was still me. But like, I think that now that everybody can see like every facet of my personality, or most of the facets of my personality, and it's a little bit more genuine and fleshed out, that people resonate with it stronger. And the people who don't, like, there's another content creator out there for you. I'm not mad at all. What are you saying? Popping colors do catch the eye of everyone, even if they're scrolling by those popping colors. I agree. Thanks, Carlos. I think I'm a sweet person too, but I do have a trolley side, and I do enjoy going into bunny spaces and other nighttime spaces and being nighttime epiphany as well. So in terms of content creation, guys, what has been the most fulfilling, or the most fulfilling moment, or the most fulfilling part of the journey so far? And it doesn't have to be just one, but like, no pressure. Chef.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I don't know if I could like pick one moment that would be like pinpointed as most fulfilling. I think I just enjoy when people enjoy the content that I put out. Like if I put something out and I get really good feedback on it, that is something that I really love. Especially if I do like a good spaces. Like I'll have spaces sometimes that are like hit or miss on how good they are, but you'll get that one space that you'll have every once in a while that it doesn't matter if there's like 30 people in it or 200 people in it. It's like a really good space, and it is, and you'll have people like DMing you like, oh man, that was like the best space I've been to in a while. Like that's always, I love that. Like I love having something that changes people's days because I like that myself. Like consuming content. Um, I like, there's spaces I go to all the time that, um, you know, change the outlook of my day and really are enjoyable. Like the Epiphany does great spaces. Shout out to Pingu and Across the Pond, OG. They all do like really good spaces that I love going to. And so when I'm able to create that environment for other people, it always feels really good.
Yeah. And I think that we had some Morning Bells. Like Morning Bell wasn't a super, super popping space when I did it. I think when you changed it to Sundays, you got a better crowd.
Yeah, Sundays were a
But
lot better.
yeah, but when we did do it, it was like you literally had to be like, I gotta go to work now, guys. But people were still like, no, 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 I want to talk and everything. And I felt like, people had like so much to say, and there was so much, like, I wouldn't even say, there was so much conversation and so much crosstalk, and like everybody wanted to get their point across. And everybody was respectful of everybody. They didn't necessarily agree, but like it was like so popping in there all the time. That was great. I really enjoyed that experience. Carter, what would you say is the most fulfilling thing so far?
Um, I'm gonna have to agree with Chef, but for my content, outside of streaming, I'm not really focused on funny content. I'm more educational. Um, so knowing that I'm able to give someone slash people um like a TLDR in a short little video that they can watch on a project if they're wondering what it is. Ooh. So yeah, I would say that, and also just being happy too, finding that, like, finding content creation and finding that it has just made me happier as a person, and I would have to say that as well.
Nice. I have a question for you, Carter, before I move on to Jack. In terms of your content, like you and Wombat are the only people I know of your kind of age group. Are you doing anything to like interest your age group in what you're doing, or to even onboard? I hate the word onboard because it feels like I don't know, it feels kind of dirty. But anyways, you know what I'm saying. Like, is there anything that you're doing to share with like your peers in particular, or your age group in particular, with your content, or no?
Um, it's hard to do that because most people my age and even older, I would say like 25 and like younger than me too. People, I feel like attention spans are not very long, so they don't, even like if it's a 3 minute video, TikTok has ruined like people's attention spans. Also, a lot of people don't want to listen. They don't want to go and try new things, so it's kind of hard. But I mean, I do make content. A lot of people at school know. My videos get played in class all the time, um, and it just kind of makes me laugh because that makes me feel that and know that I'm doing something right. So,
Yeah, you're making an impact. But is that ever weird, like somebody playing your content when you're in class with them, or
um, it's it makes me laugh. Like I just laugh because then it just stops. But I wouldn't say it's weird. It makes me feel good. Is what I would
yeah,
describe it as.
yeah, cool. Jack, what would you say is the most fulfilling part of the journey so far?
I guess in terms of content creation specifically, probably back when I used to do alpha, I guess one of the most fulfilling things is when you do put literally hours and hours into researching a project, writing up a full description, kind of giving your opinions, and then you see people making money, right? Obviously, it's all not financial advice and do your own research and all this, but it's, I guess, in a way, just creating content based on your genuine opinions after doing a lot of research on a project, and then when people invest in that project and make money on it, it's super rewarding for me and obviously for those guys too. So if I had to pinpoint one of those one moment in my Web3 journey so far in terms of fulfillment, I guess that would be it, with people just being in the chat like, yo, bro, oh my God, thank you so much. Obviously, back when Solana wasn't, $4 like it is now, back when it was like $80, $90. Like you could literally make trades for a couple of Solana, and you're making really good money, you know. So people would actually be like, "Oh, you just paid my rent this month," and different things like that. So I guess that would kind of be more fulfilling in my journey so far, I would say.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. And that's like making people happy, I guess, like, you know, making the money. I unfortunately like was always like maybe 10 minutes too late on your calls, because like literally if you did not get that call immediately came out, like the floor price was already too high to get in. So yeah, but I always saw the stats every week and I was completely blown away, so that was incredible. Would you ever consider doing it again? I know now is not the time, obviously it's dead, but is that just something that you've done and it's in the past? Like if Solana went back up, or if the market got pumping, would you do that again?
No chance. No, it's too much pressure. You know what I mean? It's like you have to put so much time into it. And the problem with alpha calling, or I mean, I guess I was more of a lead alpha role in my positions, which I loved, like managing the team and kind of keeping their morale high, and kind of making sure that everything's in place. But the thing with doing anything in alpha, you can make 100 amazing calls and you make one bad call and you're the worst guy in the world. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
it's a mix of that with just people's expectations being absolutely crazy and expecting you to make them $10,000 a day. You know, it's
Yeah.
pretty ridiculous. And also, I'm just too busy. I've got too much stuff going on with Jelly and Gambles. And I just definitely wouldn't have time to sit there, because I used to literally sit there for 4, 5, 6 hours a day just researching one project just to make a call, and I
Yeah.
just don't have time anymore. So yeah, I don't see myself. I mean, it's not out of the possibilities, I guess, but I don't really see it ever returning to that.
Nice. Okay. Cool. And I guess, I mean, we've kind of covered this, but maybe there's like a little more succinct way to cover it. How do you feel like you've evolved since you started? Jack, yours is pretty clear. It's like alpha calling to what you're doing now. But Chef, how do you feel like you've evolved, or and even maybe the best part of that evolution? Let's talk about that.
For like Web3 specifically,
No, I mean it can be. I mean, content creation is not just about Web3, but like, you know, you can talk about life. We can talk about life here.
yeah, I mean the Web3 evolution was pretty drastic for me personally. Like from getting into the space and like not really knowing like how to connect with people, or not getting in the right spaces, and it was horrible timing too, because I got into NFTs like right at the end of the bull market, like right at the end, but I didn't know like what to look for and what to pay attention to. So I made a little bit, because pretty much everybody was making money in the last bull market. So like I was able to make a little bit of money, but not anything near like what I could do with the position I'm at now and the like people that I talk to now. So that kind of sucks. But the evolution from like not knowing anybody, like less than 2 years ago, I had like 30 followers on Twitter. I wasn't in any communities. Like I would be like one of those weird people, on Discord, where you look at their profile and you're like, that dude's got 30 followers. I'm pretty sure he's a bot. That was me. Um, and so, yeah, I think it's nice to like be able to turn that into something that I really enjoy doing. I like making, fun videos. Like ever since I was a kid, I've enjoyed making like dumb little videos and content in that aspect. And so being able to do that on a bit of a larger scale is really nice. So I would say that was probably my evolution journey, was just making it from like kind of not knowing who to talk to or how to make connections, and making a lot of like really important connections, like not just in Web3, but like life in general. There's like most of my friends now, like I of course I have like real life, quote unquote normie friends, but like, one of my best friends is Kenny. He happens to live in Portland, so I get the best of both worlds. He's in real life friend and a Web3 friend. But a lot of like Web3 connections that I've made are like more important to me than a lot of like the in real life connections that I have. It's like it seems like the vibes of the community as a whole are like just different, yeah, so I really enjoy that, like growing into those connections.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean, I spoke about it this morning a little bit, but Jazz always says, like, when I first started, which was only about, well, Solana Side Up, you guys, is going to be a year old in like 9 days. Because before it was with Scriber, I was doing it 6 days a week, then 5 days a week. And it started as there are no good spaces on this morning. I'm making coffee. And that was on September 16th. So it's a year, but there was absolutely no way to predict that I would be here with you tonight, because when I first started, like, I came from Clubhouse. I only spoke once on Clubhouse. I came over to Twitter Spaces because my Clubhouse community moved over to Twitter, and I joined a couple of Twitter Spaces, and people would like call on me or ask me questions because I thought it would be safer to be in smaller spaces, but then they call on you. So I started kind of answering, but like I was like uncomfortable talking, and I barely spoke at the beginning, and now it's like I host space, I'm hosting YT. It's out of out of control. My evolution is out of control. um Jack, just know that you don't have to answer it.
I can see it.
But
Yeah.
Reaper has put you on the spot with this one because it says not to put him on the spot or anything, but you have 50K to spend. Which one? Jelly, Gambles, or Rascals? So I'm guessing you're meaning like, because Rascals are Jelly Rascals, but you're talking about the actual token, Reaper, I'm guessing.
It is. It's a tough question, right? It's like trying to pick one child over another, which is always tough to do. Um, you can only pick one. That's disgusting. If listen, just to answer a different question, if I could, I'd put half and half into Gambles and Rascals. Both amazing plays, both have a clear defined future, I think. But if I can only pick one, I mean, I'm going to answer it anyway. I'm not gonna back out of a question. I guess the smart thing to do for me, if I had 50K to spend and I could only buy one, I would buy Rascals. I think 50K would probably get you like close to 100 Rascals right now, which is crazy. At least 80 Rascals. I would buy those Rascals, stake those Rascals, and then just buy Gambles from my passive income on Jelly. So I guess that's probably the best answer. So I could end up long term with a lot of Gambles, a lot of Rascals.
Cool. Let me just put an NFA in the chat so nobody gets out of control. That is NFA. Do your own research, but that's what Jack would do. Okay, guys. Sweet. Thanks for answering that. Reaper's always going to put everybody on the spot. That's what he's here for. um, okay, so Carter, how do you view your evolution so far? Like from where you started to where you are now?
That's tough. I don't know. I feel like content creation has made me grow as a person in general. It's made me accept that things aren't perfect. And it also showed me that there's gonna be people that don't like what you do. So that's helped me in life. Also, I mean, like Chef said, the connections. I value these Web3 connections like crazy. To be honest, I feel like I'm better friends with some people in Web3 than I am in Web2. Like I don't really. I mean, also I feel like Web3. There's a lot more people that are supportive and will tell you when you are wrong, because a lot of people, especially my age, see me working this hard and they call me like a freak or something like that. Just I work too hard, but I just know I'm doing something good.
Cool. All right, guys, we have about 9 minutes left. That hour did kind of fly by. Carlos has asked another question. How do you envision the future of online communities and social interactions within the Web3 ecosystem, and how does that impact your content strategy? Carter, you want to go first?
I might have to phone a friend over here, Jack. I might have to phone Jack real quick to let me think of my answer.
Yeah, sure, man. I guess for me, it is a great question, and obviously, kind of the Web3 ecosystem kind of changes almost. It feels like every day. There's always a new trend or something new happening on the timeline. So I guess it's a little bit tricky to kind of think long term how it's going to end up because it could be a multitude of ways. Um, but I guess what I have seen is that we are kind of moving more into a video content kind of dominant space. I feel obviously as Chef mentioned, Jake is probably one of the main figures in that. His video content's incredible, and it's the kind of content that keeps you engaged and kind of really wanting to follow that person and kind of stay up to date with them. Obviously, Twitter Spaces are huge these days too. I think everyone loves a good Twitter Space. I think probably all of us up here are kind of people that go to Twitter Spaces often. So I think that's definitely going to continue in terms of Web3. Obviously, it's not just within NFTs, right? There's massive like crypto Twitter Spaces too. You can get like Bitcoin and like Elon Musk jumping into those Twitter Spaces, which kind of shows the impact that it does have, and to get a lot of viewers in there, like sometimes over 100K. I remember joining all that FTX drama. Those Twitter Spaces were absolutely massive. There was like 100, 200K people in there. The drama was great, right? I used to love going to those Twitter Spaces. The drama was amazing. But yeah, I guess just to conclude the kind of future of social interactions, I guess, within Web3, I could see, yeah, Twitter Spaces continuing to evolve. And hopefully there's going to be a face cam feature added on Twitter Spaces soon. I feel like it would give you that much more kind of personal interaction with the speakers, right? If they could just stick on their question and kind of, or sorry, stick on the camera and kind of you get to see them. And yeah, the video content too, like the kind of stuff that Jake is doing as well. I think it's going to keep moving forward like that.
Cool. Cool. Carter, do you have some inspiration for an answer now, or is Jack answering
No,
for the
but
both of you tonight?
he could, but I'm gonna try it. Online communities, I feel like are gonna keep growing. And that's not even just saying Web3 based. That means like gaming as well. Because there's gaming communities like Fortnite, Call of Duty, just stuff like that. And I feel like they're just gonna keep growing as more people evolve with the internet. Because I mean, there's a lot of people that don't understand the internet still. So I feel like when we get more people on the internet and stuff like that, I feel like social communities are still gonna be growing.
Gotcha. Chef, what's your take?
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. Like online communities, social interactions, in Web3 are going to get a lot bigger. Um, I really do feel like Web3 right now is like the internet in the early 90s or late 90s. Like when the internet was in those like infancy stages, that we hear a lot of like we heard like a lot of the same things that you hear in Web3, like, oh, it's a scam, it's a fad, it's not going to last. Like we heard all of those things with the internet. We're hearing the same thing when it comes to Web3. So
Absolutely.
I definitely think that there's going to be a really large bubble burst and a lot of influx of people joining these online communities. And so how does that impact the content strategy? I think it's just a motivating factor. I think, like I said earlier, like it's just kind of the perfect time. Like if you want to start creating content and you've been thinking about it, like there's no better time to start creating content, and there's really no better online community to start creating content in than Web3, because the door is like wide open for you to make a name for yourself. I mean, for example, my buddy Jay Toits, like he started recording Twitter Spaces and making like these little clips with these Twitter Spaces, and now everybody knows about Jay Toits, right? Like Clip It JT is like all over Twitter, and he did that within the span. Like I remember, like a couple months ago, he was talking about like, hey, I want to make content. Like, what should I do? He was trying out different things, and then he just caught on to that and started rolling with it. And then now all of a sudden, it's like everybody talks about Jay Toit's clips. So, you know, anybody can do that. Like I said, the door's wide open for it. And so for anybody that's like thinking about doing content, it's kind of like now's a great time to make a name for yourself. I would just say don't do what other people are doing, and definitely do what you enjoy. That's kind of my strategy, is that I want to make sure I'm always doing something I enjoy, or else I'll get burnt out and I won't want to do it. Like I don't want making videos to seem like a chore. I don't want it to dread having to do it. I want to enjoy doing it. And I want it to be like 100% genuinely me. And as long as I'm doing that, then I think I got a good chance for success for it. So
nice. So I have a couple of things. Number one, Carlos, this was a trick question, because we all know that the future of online communities is being a part of the Web3 creator economy that Decoders is creating. Duh. And Bell Studios is already part of that with their white label app. Oh, sorry, Carlos. I'm sorry it's so early, but yeah. Bell Studios is already part of that. Carlos from Jelly Rascals has already been a part of, one of our YouTube videos. Carter's been here since the very beginning. So we're all so early, guys. Let's go. There was something else I was going to say, speaking to your point, Chef, which is like, I guess, one of the reasons that I was so shy and so unwilling to talk in the beginning was my imposter syndrome and that little voice in my head saying like, I'm too old to be here. Everybody's young and vibrant, and like, I'm just older and this isn't going to work out. But look, I'm still here a year later. I'm about to celebrate my 1-year anniversary of my space, and now I'm doing YouTube videos, and I'm definitely I'm definitely in the age group that they would call a boomer, even though that age group is my parents, really and truly, historically speaking. But guys, it was so great to have you all here. We have to have a part 2 sometime. It was so great.
I agree.
Can't wait to hear about all the new things that you're all doing.
Yeah, for sure.
definitely much love for having me,
Yeah.
VPIF.
Thank you,
Hey.
VPIF.
Always a good time.
So guys, in the chat, watching this on the YouTube replay, remember to subscribe. Remember to, oh, wait a second. Remember to follow all of our guests, Jack, Chef Boyar Dave, and Carter on Twitter. I will put their Twitter links on the Discord. And if you're not in the Discord yet, hop into the Discord. Bye for this week, guys. Oh, yes. And Jazz is reminding us, collect your views before we end the stream, you guys. Have a great evening. I'll see you all soon.